Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the PANSIGHT webinar. Let me start the slideshow. So assume the slide is visible. Today's topic, toxic habits. My mission is to boost the holistic health. The word holistic health means physical health, mental health, and emotional health of the public through webinars by donating my time, knowledge, and skills. Purpose of today's webinar, get a clear picture about habits. Know the impact of habits on life. Lastly, learn how to break toxic habits. So during this session, to make it more interesting, it will be interactive, and I'll be constantly seeking feedback from you so that I can customize my presentation. Can anybody in this group know how to read another person's mind? If you don't know how to read another person's mind, put N, the alphabet N, in the chat box. N. Okay, Krishnarjuna, no. My dear friends, please respond fast. Okay, Pradap, no. Should I assume that others can read the mind? Santosh, no. So the fact is, you cannot read somebody else's mind. I also cannot read somebody else's mind. So I won't be able to read the minds of the people who are, okay, thank you, Laura. People who are sitting here. Because when I say something, I should not assume that you have understood that. That is why I now and then I ask a question, is it clear? Or do you want me to explain? Just to make sure that is, make the communication two-way. This webinar is based on FEQT, facts, experience from my own personal experience and professional experience, and quotes, thoughts. The power of habit. There are numerous books on habit and toxic habits. Toxic habits. Toxic habits you must quit. Now my question, have you ever heard anybody giving a talk on toxic habits? If the answer is no, put N in the chat box. No. Okay, Ravindranaraji. What about others? Should I think that is okay? Oh, Laura, you have heard. Okay. What about others? We have some 19 people. Pradap, no. So I'm glad that I have chosen a topic which will be insightful for everybody. And now I have already shown that there are many books on toxic habits. Definition of habit. They use the word habit, but without even understanding what exactly is a habit. Any regularly repeated behavior that requires little or no thought. It is almost like the autopilot. It is learned or acquired, not inborn. Inborn is something you are born with. You don't require any training or any other coaching. For example, some people are the inborn talents like singing, drawing, painting. But whereas computer skills, they are not inborn. Communication skills, they are not inborn. Language skills, they are not inborn. The same way, habits, they are not inborn. For example, people in Kerala, breakfast, some people may eat regularly dosha or puri or chapati. That becomes their habit. Whereas people in the USA, like Laura and other Americans, their food habits are totally different. They may eat pancakes, cereals, or sandwich. Is this point clear? That the habit and talent difference. If it is clear, in the chat box put C. Because we must have a clear understanding about what. Okay, Rendanaji, thank you. Shanmar Ayeshri. Because some people, they mistake a talent for a habit or a habit for a talent. No. Laura ji. Okay, Laura, thank you. Okay, Suresh Kumar ji. Now, toxic. The word toxic means something harmful or damaging to health. Health, what kind of health we are talking about? It could be physical health, it could be mental health, it could be emotional health, or it could be all the three. So that is why a habit could become toxic if it is going to hurt you. This is applicable to me also. Saint Augustine, this quote is nearly how many years old? More than 1500 years old. Habit, if not resisted, soon becomes necessity. Do you want me to explain? If you want me to explain, put E in the chat box. If you don't want me to explain, I will move to the next slide. I don't want to assume. It's crystal clear for everybody. Not for some people, it may not be clear. Do you want me to explain? Chat box E put. So it is well understood. Okay, Ravindraji, good. Thank you. For example, that is eating home cooked food or eating from restaurant. Eating from the restaurant, if it has become a habit, and soon that becomes a necessity. You won't want to eat anything from home. It is a necessity. That is a simple example. People who live in an air-conditioned room, soon it becomes a necessity. They won't be able to work from an office which is not air-conditioned. Is it clear now? If it is clear, put C in the chat box. That is how certain things become necessity. Okay, thank you, Vedanaji. When it becomes necessity, then you are totally dependent on that. That necessity will control your life. Your mind and habits will create either barriers or bridges to a better future. Again, if you want to explain, put E. Because time management. So everything depends upon whether I need to say something more about a particular quote or not. Bridges or barriers. A person, the habit, negative thinking, always a pessimistic outlook, a habit of seeing danger in everything, risk, risk, risk. And that will act as a big barrier. That person won't do anything out of fear of failure. That it has become a habit. Is it clear? Do you agree? If you agree, put A. That certain habits can act as a big barrier. Yes, thank you, Srimarinaji. As a barrier for success, for happiness, for peace of mind. People don't like change when it comes to changing their own lifestyle habits. Do you agree? If you agree, put A in the chat box. Most difficult thing to change is lifestyle habits. Lifestyle, like suppose you are waking up, you are in the habit of waking up at say 8 o'clock in the morning. Changing that to 7 or 6, oh, lot of resistance. Lot of resistance. Suppose you are in the habit of drinking alcohol every day, 2 or 3 shots. Very difficult to change. It's a lifestyle. Or eating fast food, junk food. That is what we are seeing. Millions of people are suffering from lifestyle diseases, especially food, eating the wrong kind of food. So lifestyle habits changing is very difficult. That is why prevention is always better than cure. Old proverb. Make sure that you don't get into that habit. That is why I always remind or urge or request the parents and grandparents, your children, they develop certain habits, especially food habits, because of the parents or grandparents, they give junk food. They themselves eat junk food, and soon the children get addicted to that food habit. And these days you see obesity is very common among children. And especially after all this, there's no physical activity. They use the video games, no active physical games. They eat a lot. They gain weight. Host of health problems. Do you agree? If you agree, put A. Primarily, the parents and grandparents are the culprits. Yes. They are not doing it intentionally. There was another quote by Agatha Christie. The world is full of good parents who do bad things for their children. World is full of good parents who do bad things for their children. Remember that, please. 99% of the failures come from people who have the habit of making excuses. The George Washington Carver, an African American, this gentleman never, he could have come with a lot of excuses. He was a slave. His parents were slaves. And he lost his parents at a very young age. And he was denied school admission because of that color. And he completed that his bachelor's degree in agricultural science at the age of 30. Not young age, 30. He didn't give up. He didn't come with an excuse. Oh, I'm not able to get an admission. I cannot do that. What can I do? Self-pitying. That is some people that have a toxic habit of self-pitying. They don't try to overcome the challenges. Am I right? If I'm right, put R in the chat box. Put R in the chat box. This Carver was, yes, thank you. Well done. He was never, and his accomplishment, amazing. He invented that crop rotation. And from peanut, just a peanut, he came up with the idea of making nearly 300 products from peanut. Can you believe that one? A great guy. So excuses, 99% of our failures because of the habit of making excuses. I like that quote very much. To change bad habits, we must study the habits of successful role models. Jack Canfield. Do you want to know more about Jack Canfield? If you want to know more about Jack Canfield, put why yes in the chat box. I'll share briefly something more about Venugopal Nair. Okay. This Jack Canfield, he authored a book. The title was Chicken Soup for the Soul. It was rejected by 144 publishers. Chicken Soup for Soul, 144. Not 1, 2, 5, 10, 50. He didn't give up. He didn't give in. Highly self-motivated. If you are not strongly self-motivated, any resistance, a small rejection, one rejection is enough to give up. And he's a very popular motivational speaker. He has made millions by selling his books. Is it interesting? Jack Canfield, that one? If it is interesting, put I. He is a living example. And again, his success. Thank you, Renaji. His success is because of his people skills, emulating successful people. Again, I'm going to give you real life examples for living now. Dalai Lama, very popular, Nobel Prize winner, excellent people skills. He never loses his cool. The same way, successful, he's a spiritual leader, successful business leaders like Dhirubhai Ambani, Ratan Tata, Adani. Have you ever heard them using an abusive language or shouting or yelling or losing cool? If you have not heard, put N in the chat box. If you have not ever heard any N, so that is what it is. The secret began. We must know how these people are able to achieve a lot of success. What is the secret? People skills. Emulate them. And the politicians, look at the politicians again. Not arrogant, yes. Politicians. The Shashi Tharoor. I'm giving a real life example. Laura and Marley, Shashi Tharoor is just like a senator in India. You know, in USA, we have senators. They contest. So he contested from the same constituency. Is the fourth time again he won. 4 times. And what are his contributions? The 20 years of serving that constituency as a member of the parliament. Virtually nothing. Am I right? If I am right, in the chat box put R. My dear friends, those who are from Kerala, his contributions are virtually nothing. And his opponents were a former cabinet minister, O. Rajagopal, then former governor, Kumanan Rajashekharan, and former, again, state minister, Rajiv Chandrasekhar. How did he accomplish? Are you not interested? Because I study, I observe. I always try to find out the secret behind the success of some politicians. Have you ever seen him losing his temper? Have you ever seen him using abusive language or calling the names of the opponents? Never. Am I right? Put R in the chat box. Always smiling. A pleasant that demeanor. So that is the secret. So we must learn and we must also emulate. That is what that Jack Canfield, his quotation says, successful people make them our role models. Whereas there is another politician, very arrogant, he called the present prime minister niche admi. Another, again, senior politician called him mouth ka saudagar, that is merchant of death. Another senior politician called him asura, Ravana. So when compared to all these people, Shashi Tharoor, the same way, Vajpayee, very polished, sophisticated. And in USA also, Laura and you know that is Marley. Okay, thank you, Marley, for joining. And in USA also, Bill Clinton was very popular, highly successful. He was able to overcome many challenges and adversities. Very pleasant, interpersonal communication skills. So we must learn and emulate these qualities from successful people. To change bad habits, we must study the habits of successful role models. Not managing your time and making excuses are two bad habits. Don't put them together by claiming you don't have the time. I have seen many people, when I call, when I'm not able to get hold of them, 2 or 3 attempts, they don't even call me back. I'm saying many people, not all. And subsequently, if I do get hold of them, oh, I was busy. Busy? You don't have the time to even just text a message. Hey, I'll call you later. Hey, I'm sorry, I couldn't. You're too busy to find even 10 seconds. It is not busyness. It is they don't know how to use time, manage time. They pretend to be busy. Do you agree? If you agree, put yay. And in this group, again, there are some people who know that whenever they call me, again, Dr. Ravindranath, he knows that he will watch for that one. You know that when I call, when they call me, Santosh also. 90% of the time, I answer the call right away. And if I'm in the middle of doing something, then I say, can I call you after 5 minutes? That is it. Time management. No, we don't learn it from the school of life, from the formal education. They don't teach us. But in the real life, from the school of life, and by reading many books, self-education. People who throw kisses are hopelessly lazy. Bob Hope. Why didn't you go and kiss? Why do you throw flying kiss? That's also part of laziness. Go and kiss them. Do it in that. This kiss, flying kiss, will give the same kind of, will have the same kind of impact as going and giving a kiss on the cheek. If it is a no, put N in the chat box. The flying kiss. You do that one. Suppose that guy is about to board the flight and now you cannot reach that person. Then, yes. Or that person is far away. Then, yes. But most of the time, I see some people, yeah, they're sitting across the table. Flying kiss. That's my own quote. Every habit will have an impact on our physical health, mental health, and emotional health. Every habit. Do you agree? If you agree, put A in the chat box. So this is something many people, they don't even realize. Okay, many people, they don't realize. So our health is impacted by our habits. And Laura, she knows the ARP meetings, 90% of the time, I come there on time. Am I right, Laura? On time. If its meeting is going to start at 10 o'clock, I am there at 10 o'clock. If it is 10:30, I am there at 10:30. I don't go late. That habit, that creates a positive image. So the impact is, it will create a positive image. And that will do good for my well-being. Five toxic habits. You won't find these in any textbook. I'm not a person who simply reads some textbooks and I cut and paste whatever I read. One of my favorite hobbies is thinking. Time management. That is mismanagement. What I'm saying is time mismanagement. Money mismanagement. People mismanagement. Mind mismanagement. Lastly, diet mismanagement. So I'll explain each one with real life examples. So let us start with the first one. Time mismanagement. When I work in the hospital, federal hospital, every year the physicians are expected to give a self-evaluation report about your accomplishments or about your whatever happening at work. I always used to start with the first one. 100% punctuality in reporting to work. If the tour of duty starts at 8 o'clock, it lasts till 4:30. Not even one day I was late by 1 second, in spite of the fact during the winter time, many days there will be heavy snowing. Because of heavy snowing, you cannot drive fast. And you have to remove all the snow. That takes some time because of my habit, time management. I used to listen to the radio. There is snowing. Then I would get up that day early, 15 minutes early, collect the snow and reach there on time. They could verify whether my claim is true because every time I log in after going work, that is the timestamp. Now I'm going to show the story of another friend. In another hospital, when I was working, one of my friends, he's from India. I shared his appointment briefly for a couple of months. Same working hours, 8 to 4:30. He would get up around 6 o'clock. I used to get up around 6:30. And I would leave by 7:45 because it used to take only 10 minutes of drive to reach the hospital. This guy wakes up at 6 o'clock and he drinks a cup of coffee and again he used to go back to sleep. And invariably he used to come by 8:30, 30 minutes late. So the patient schedule, everything gets screwed up. And the supervisor repeatedly reminded him. Then he told, okay, could you please change my tour of duty from 8 to 4:30 to 8:30 to 5? Okay, they did that. They changed the tour of duty from 8 to 8:30 to 5. Then what happened? Now I used to come by 9 o'clock. It didn't make any change in his habit. That being late. Then he lost his job. Obviously, because of that one, he was fired. Then what? Many of you may not be aware of the fact in USA, if a doctor wants to get a job in another hospital, you have to complete an application form. That application form, they ask some questions. One, are you still working? Are you currently working? If you say no, then did you resign the job or were you employment terminated? So if you put employment terminated, that is it, over. They are not going to even call you for interview. So my friend, he had to put his employment, he was fired, terminated. For nearly 7 months, he was unemployed and he became unemployable. 7 months cost more than $100,000 of income. And in India, we are looking at nearly 85 lakhs. Everything because of that habit, toxic habit of being late. Then 7 months later, he got a job that was in a God-forsaken place, in a rural area where they could not get any doctor. That is where they hired him. Is this example really eye-opening? If it is really eye-opening, put yes in the chat box. The real history case, okay, Renaraji, this happened. And he asked me to be his referee. Always, whenever he used to apply to a hospital, Laura, thank you. Apply to any hospital, he would give my name as the referee. I never wanted to lie. So I used to tell, he was a very competent physician. And he was really very compassionate, caring. So I used to put, he is a compassionate, he is caring, and he is a knowledge, everything's updated. I didn't tell the whole truth. I don't have to tell the whole truth. I never told that is, okay, this guy always comes late. Then I think that he learned it from the hard way after losing or that frustration of getting the next job. I think that then he learned the lesson the hard way. Money management. Do you agree that millions of people are in debt and they find it difficult to make both ends meet? Do you agree? If you agree, put A. Yes, A. Okay. And plenty of people always, yeah, money. I don't have enough money. Okay, they are in debt. They borrow money from the bank. They borrow money from somewhere else, or they put their jewelry and pawn them and take money. Why? Why this is happening? Because again, money management skills, they don't teach. The schools or colleges. Many people don't realize, know the difference between a need and a want. That is the main problem. You don't need a lot of money to satisfy your needs. But money won't be, any amount of money won't be sometimes enough to satisfy your wants. That is where many people, millions of people, they are in debt, financial problems. They try to satisfy all their wants. One simple example from my own personal experience. A cell phone, a phone is a need. No doubt about it. Now in the 21st century, a phone and especially a smartphone is a need, a necessity. It's not a luxurious item. 40 years back, yeah, you can live without a phone. Now you cannot. That being so, this phone I bought 2 years back. Always before I buy anything, this is what learn from me, certain lessons. Please, my dear friends, I'm sharing this one so that you'll be able to learn certain lessons from my own personal life. I always do research, find out the phones available. And I always look at the customer review rating. And I look our phones with a customer rating of 4-star or above 4-star. Most of them. If there are, say, 100 people have 100 people customer review, then if some 80 people, they have put, 4 or 5, then another some 15 people, 3, then I feel comfortable. Customer review rating. Then I look at the features. I was looking for a phone with a storage of 256 GB. That is enough storage. Then the camera, the quality, specifications, and the processor. Then I look at the Apple phone. Price was around $1,000. Samsung, around $800. And this one is Motorola, $200. Specifications are same. Customer review, again, almost the same. I bought this one. So how much did I save? $800, $600. The same way, calling, the service again, AT&T, monthly, $60. And Sprint, again, $50 to $55. Then I identified one, Leica Mobile, European, $20. I've been using the Leica Mobile, their service for the past 5 years. No problem. I can make unlimited calls to more than 50 countries. So here it is, just thinking and planning. A little bit of common sense. And by doing that, every month I'm saving nearly $40, and at the end of the year, $480. And numerous examples during the discussion, I'll be glad to share some more real life examples. Is this clear? Are you convinced about how I am keeping myself? That is, I don't. That is just like that. No impulse buying. When I want a car, I don't buy a brand new car. Why do you want a brand new car? I buy a Toyota used car and instantaneously I save $5,000. If the Toyota car, well maintained, it won't give you any problem. Even if you drive for 150,000 miles. When I bought that car, it was only 50,000 miles. Price, $5,000 less. And I usually drive in a year, just 10,000 miles in a year. So, even 10 years, it won't give me any problems. This is how money management. Do you find these tips useful? If you find some useful, put you in the chat box. Do you find these examples which I shared useful? Okay, thank you, Renarji. Thank you. People management, we discussed. Shashi Tharoor and other, Dalai Lama and other very popular leaders. Mind management, thoughts. Thoughts, every day we get hundreds of thoughts. And if you are not careful, those thoughts can ruin your life. You will be chasing those thoughts. You must know how to control the thoughts. Negative thoughts, more damaging. I gave a talk on this thought power. It is already on the YouTube. If you watch that one, you'll get a lot of this one. And positive mindset, negative mindset. My dear friends, please watch those videos. If you don't have that much time. About these toxic habits, I can give a talk for 10 hours. I have that much material. It is not a topic which can be completed within 1 hour. But I'm trying to share what is absolutely essential. Lastly, diet management. That also I gave a talk. That is on junk foods on the YouTube. Watch them. I don't eat junk food. 2 days back, myself and my son, we went to the zoo. Lara, you know, in Kansas City Zoo. We went there around before 10 o'clock. And we were there till 4 o'clock, 6 hours. Many chat shows we didn't miss. We participated in most of the chats. What did I do? In a small bag, I put 2 bananas and a blueberry cereal bar. Around the lunchtime, we ate that one. It cost only $1. Other than eating at the canteen in the zoo, that would cost easily $15. And unhealthy food. $15 and the food will be unhealthy. Your healthy food. So that is why the diet management, many people, they don't take any efforts. They're going to eat the fast food, greasy food, and spend a lot of money. So it is money mismanagement as well as diet mismanagement. Is it clear? If it is clear, put in the chat box CC. Put CC. That is money mismanagement and diet mismanagement. Both. Okay. Vendanaji, thank you. Lara, thank you. Shanmuraji, both. I saved $14. One more thing. Oh, plenty of people I find, they drink only bottled water. Bottled water. And I have seen people here, they spend $20 to $40 every month on bottled water. I don't. Faucet water, drinking water. $40 means every year, $480. Why? Why? Think. People don't think. They imitate herd mentality. Oh, they are buying the bottled water, I will also buy the bottled water. That's not, and bottled water is not good also for health. If the plastic and some chemical reactions. So all toxic habits, lack of etiquette. That is lack of manners. Unpunctuality, I told you. Lack of integrity. If you say something, if you say that I will do, you must do that one. What you say and what you do, they must match. They don't match, soon you lose credibility. Your image, reputation, everything will be tarnished. So that toxic habit of poor integrity will do a lot of harm. If I say yes, yes, I mean it. If I say no, I mean it. I learned this one from my own father. My father, a man with a lot of integrity. He would never make a commitment unless he could honor that commitment. Wasteful spending, I told you. Trying to please all. Okay, that is also a toxic habit. Some people are so sensitive to criticisms, and they will try to please everybody. Yeah, I can do that. Yeah, everybody pleasing. Impossible to please everybody. You will make your own life a hell. Don't try to please everybody. Do the right things for right reasons. You cannot please everybody. Even Jesus Christ could not please everybody. He had enemies, and that's why he was crucified. Procrastination, always postponement. Making assumptions, guessing. As I told you, mind reading. If somebody is not doing, oh, you may think, oh, maybe he is not. So maybe he thinks that way. Don't ask that person. Stop mind reading. Stop making assumptions. I don't make assumptions. If I don't understand something, I ask that person. Worrying, again, I gave a talk. Why people worry? Please watch that one on YouTube. Gossiping, yes, gossip mongers. Soon you will lose your image, reputation. Others won't have any respect. They may enjoy, but they won't have any respect towards you. They won't trust you. That's not bad. That's very bad for your, in the long run, emotional health and mental health. Self-criticism, fault finding, always blaming others, blaming, and perfectionism. Yeah, OCD. Must watch PANSIGHT webinars, busy syndrome. It is there on the YouTube. Why people worry and how to get rich. That is about the money management. Upcoming talks next Thursday. Ripple effects, halo effect. Always the Zoom link is same. Thank you for joining this webinar. Any questions or comments? And my dear friends, next 10 minutes. That's for question and answer session. Only questions. Shaji ji, if you want to ask a question, it should be to the topic and be brief. And then after 9 o'clock, after I stop the recording, yes, we can have discussion. At that time, I will be sharing more real life examples. Okay? Did you find this session interesting, enlightening, and empowering? If you found that interesting, enlightening, and empowering, in the chat box, put IEE. There's a feedback. I cannot read your minds. I told you, I won't be able to know whether you found this session interesting. Okay, thank you, Dr. Venugopal, Pradap, Venugopal. So interesting, enlightening, and empowering. I'm not a theoretician. I'm not at all a theoretician. I have seen many people, they talk about theoretical stuff. Thou shalt do preaching. No, I share what I do and how I do it. And it is easy to follow. It's not at all difficult. Okay, now questions? Okay, Shaji ji. Okay.
If you take the habits of type 1 and type 2 personalities,
No. What I have talked about. Otherwise, I have to now start about explaining what type 1, type 2. Many people, they don't know what type 1, type 2. You talk about the things which I have already shared, Shaji ji. Because we have to understand the audience. Right now, Krishna Arjuna, do you know what type 1, type 2? If you don't know, put N. If you don't know, put N in the chat box. Yeah, and Ravindranath, see, Shaji ji, look at that one. Ravindranath ji and other people, they don't know what type 1 and type 2. Suresh Kumar ji. So when you ask a question, and that is about something which others don't know, it becomes an interaction between you and me. Others will get bored. They will wonder, what is this? So please ask a question that is about the slides which I have shown, about the points I have shared. Okay, thank you. Okay, Ravindranath ji, you raised your hand. Would you like to ask something or say something? And you have to unmute.
Yeah, I have a question. It's regarding the habitual latecomers in all meetings, be it physical meeting or virtual meeting. How to cure them out of that horrible habit? Because I have faced it several times.
Okay.
I was always on dot on time or even before the time, scheduled time. How to
Now,
cure them?
in USA, we have Laura is here, and she will agree with me. In USA, in India, people have the wrong belief. Oh, in USA, people are all punctual. Only the Indians, we are not punctual. No. In USA, there is punishment if you are not punctual. That's exactly what happened to that friend. He lost his job. And even in McDonald's or KFC or Pizza Hut, every new employee, they will get a handbook, employee handbook. It says if you are late by 5 minutes or 10 minutes, 3 times a month without any valid reason, not excuse, then your employment will be terminated. So that fear of losing job. So what about in India also? How often do you find a person, a train, if it is at 10:30 a.m. going to Bangalore, how often do you find a person going to the railway station by 10:45? Do they? They are there on time. They know that if they are not on time, they are not punctual, the train is not going to wait for them. Flight is not going to wait for them. So that is a fact. Examination hall also, you find 99% of the students, they show up on time. A job interview. So it is that if you want, you can. The other one is, yeah, ye chalta hai, chalega. That is what it is. Have I answered your question?
Yeah.
And never, I try my best. I give only 5 minutes of grace period. In my talk again, 8 o'clock, I wait for 5 minutes, and during that time, I engage in a small talk with the new attendees. Then I start at 8:05. And time management also, I always finish my presentation within 45 to 50 minutes. Then Q&A session for up to 10 minutes. That is time management. And some people I have seen, for a 1 hour talk, they come with some 50 or 60 slides. And each slide crammed with so many points. And they won't be able to finish. And they may, at 1 hour, still they may be showing the 40th slide. There are some another 20 slides. When they are reminded, okay, now the time is up, okay. Incomplete presentation. What do they gain? And it's a waste of the man hours. If there are 50 people, 50 man hours wasted. That's what is happening about the time management. Anybody else? Laura, would you like to ask a question? Or if you want to, go ahead. And if you don't mind, please turn on your camera so the others also can see you. Laura. Okay, anybody else who wants to ask a question? Okay, Srimaran Nairji and Venugopal Nairji. Okay, and Laura, would you like to ask a question? Venugopal Nairji, go ahead.
I don't have one.
Oh, okay,
Sorry.
thank you. Did you enjoy the session?
Yeah, I did. Thank you very much. It is like 10:30 here in Kansas City.
Yeah. It is 10:30 morning. In
yes.
India, right now it is 9 o'clock, 9 p.m.
9 p.m. Okay, very
Right.
good.
Okay,
So,
Venugopal Nairji.
Sir, whatever you have told, actually, when you tell something, we feel that it is okay, it is known to me. But in our real life, we cannot practice that actually. So when actually this is a reminder, it's an occasional reminder from you, so that we can just go and do the same thing. Whenever you tell that, sir, we know that. But we could not practice it actually. But whenever you are telling that, we are just focusing on to practice it actually.
Yes, that's all.
So it's
the whole purpose is just is a help you. That is a feel better. If you put these things into practice, your physical wealth will be very good, mental health will be good, emotional health will be good. The holistic health. That's what I'm trying to do. And everything I have shared, something tested, tried in my own personal life. Nothing is impossible, these things. And I don't have any worries about financial problems. Never. And people trust me when I say that, okay, I'll be there at 9 o'clock in my apartment complex. There is another gentleman. He is Dave. And he's also a retired person. And occasionally, when he invites me to his place, just for a tea and snacks, oh, doctor, can you come at 3 o'clock in the afternoon tomorrow? Yes. I'll be there at 2:59 or 3 sharp, tapping, knocking at his door. And some days when he says, okay, doctor, tomorrow morning, 7 o'clock, that is, I need a small help from you. Is it okay? Will it be available at 7 o'clock? Then I say, yes. Then I get ready and I'm ready. When he knocks at the door, yes, I'm available. That one, that trust, confidence, dependability, that increases. It matters a lot over a period of time. And with my son also, when he was young, when he was under my care most of the time. When he was young, when he wants to watch a movie, he'll say, Abba, I would like to watch that movie. Some Hindi movie, either Shah Rukh Khan or Amir Khan or Hrithik Roshan or Surya. I say, okay, we'll watch on Saturday. He says, Saturday? Yes. I don't come with an excuse. I borrow the movie from the video, at that time video rental, and watch together. When he was in India, he wants to watch a movie. I say, okay, I will take you for the movie on Sunday for a noon show. Yes. Many people, they know it is our son. Okay, it's okay. We can always. Don't give excuses to your own children or family members. Your friends also, don't take them for granted. That's a take-home message. Now I'm going to stop the recording.
Okay.
Then we'll continue with the discussion. Laura, if you want to stay around, you are welcome. Usually the discussion will last for another some 30 to 40 minutes. Okay. Thank you all for your active participation.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Doctor, I have a small question. It's a kind of ancillary question. Can you explain the type 1, type 2 in short?
No,
Is it a-
that will take a lot of time, Ravindra.
Okay, we will have a personal discussion.
Oh, yeah, personally we can have.